Hello and welcome to all the viewers on Facebook. Today, we bring to you yet another edition of the RTI University Table Talk. And today, we have a very interesting subject and very apt for this wonderful celebration week. Today's subject is on the Christmas convoy. Yes, we bring a lot of smiles to children across countries and across cities. We have with us today Stephanie Hall, Christoph Dadler, and Stephen Zippelen, who are going to share their experiences with us. And we are also joined by our very own Vice President, Mr. Mark Germeshausen. This is a wonderful project that brings together a lot of tablers, circlers, family members, friends, and supporters over the years. I'd like first to request our very own Vice President, Mr. Mark, to please address all of us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sachin. It's a really honor and privilege actually to be here to talk about the Christmas parties activities all around Europe, especially because what is actually done here within these certain countries, especially those two we are having here present for today, is actually extraordinary. And this is something what is not an effort by just one or two tablers or ladies or the roundtable family members. Is actually a massive team effort, and this is what we always need to consider about it. Because before Christoph coordinated the activity in Austria, I also was 2 years responsible for the Christmas Basel activity in Austria. In 2014 to 2016 is already a couple of years back, and we can see that this now improved drastically, and I'm really happy about it and to see how things are working right now. But what we are actually doing in whole Europe with such Christmas parcels is actually something really outstanding. And what we really can change in the creation of how people are reacting when they are receiving gifts, and how when we are collaborating with those institutions in especially Eastern Europe, this is something where we can bring and add value. And this is what we as Roundtable, and also together with Ladies Circle, Agora and Tension and Club 41 or Old Table, can be very proud of. And this is actually a really big team effort, and I'm really looking forward to hear actually the insights from those three which are with us today, so that we are able to understand and maybe to get a bit of the bigger picture, because maybe you created already with your family at home one parcel, you put it to one collection point where a Ladies Circle, Round Table or whatever collected, but then you actually maybe don't know what happens afterwards with it. And I'm really happy that we can provide today some more insights about that. So really thank you very much and welcome everyone, and that you are here with us today.
Thank you, Mark, for the wonderful introduction. I'd like to start by introducing the panelists that we have today on board. But before that, to all the viewers, you can ask your questions on the Facebook chat, or any suggestions for the RTI University or on the current subject can also be sent by email to me on universitymanager@round-table.org. To start with, I'd like to introduce Mr. Stephen, who was in Moldova as part of the convoy in 2018. He led the communication for the convoy since 2016. And since 2022, a part of team communications for Ukraine Aid Convoy. He is also the PRO for Roundtable Germany and Support C region with communication. And to add to it, he always helps us in all the world meetings and half-yearly meetings. We also have with us Mr. Christoph Dadler, who works in real estate and finance, the PRO of RT1 Vienna, also the national coordinator for the Christmas convoy in Austria. We also have with us Ms. Stephanie Hall, who lives in Saarbrücken, Germany, near the French border. She's a senior business manager in the energy sector, part of the Ladies Circle 60, Saarbrücken. Since summer 2021, she's the honorary manager of the Weihnachtsbecken convoy. I think I said it right in German. Tried my level best though.
Perfect.
So, friends, I think all of us are really eager to know about what the Christmas convoy is all about. Can I request Stefan to tell us what is this Christmas convoy?
Yes, please. Thank you so much for having us. I think a couple of things have already been said about the convoy. Or the convoys. And basically, it's the idea of bringing Christmas gifts from here, donated by children, by families in our country, for the roundtable convoys. That's Denmark, Germany, and Austria, to kids in poorer regions and in rural regions of Eastern Europe that in some cases even wouldn't get a Christmas gift this year. And it's definitely a different Christmas present they receive if one of our convoys reaches them. That's kind of the factual basis. But what makes our roundtable and roundtable family Christmas convoys special and in my eyes different is that it really comes from the heart, and that our focus is to reach the kids personally. We do this by having our volunteers drive the Christmas gifts and distributing them. We have many supporters in our target countries that help us really find the places where we can then bring those gifts. And each package that our team hands over brings not only toys and candy and other surprises, but also those many moments of happiness, of sparkling eyes. And that's giving so much energy back to our teams, to everybody that is involved with that, with those packages, those Christmas gifts, starting from the family, from the kids that donate a toy and kind of add candy and add more to make a real package out of it, to all those that help support collecting and packaging it and then driving and delivering it. And it's just, so much more. It's the hope that the convoy brings, and it's a sign for the local children that we see their need and that they're not forgotten, and that we are there for now and in the future. And this is only possible due to one of the strongest side-by-side teams I have ever known. Behind the scenes, the convoy team in Germany, over 30 helpers are actively at work long before we actually hit the road. So starting the first one's definitely February. We are working on the Christmas convoy. And yet for a side-by-side project, not only the 4 clubs in Germany are an important pillar, but there's also a 5th group of friends, of drivers, of supporters in the collections, but also in the convoy themselves. Without the friends that aren't part of the 4 associations, this convoy project for Germany would not be possible.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's really touching. I think the kind of satisfaction that people who are involved get out of this can't be measured. Definitely can, get those feelings. My next question is to Mr. Christoph. What do you think, is the real goal of that we would like to achieve while we do this for so many years and the years to come?
It's quite easy. The actual goal of this Christmas convoy, or Weihnachtsbackenaktion, how we call it in Austria, is to support children in need And for the case in Austria, we focus on Romania. And the basic intention is that children in Austria help other children in Romania, in that case, which are in need. And the idea behind it is that a lot of children in Austria, and you might know that from your families, do have a lot of toys they rarely use or maybe even have never used in their lives, which are in still really good shape or still in original shape. So the idea is to collect those toys or other things other people could use, collect them, put them together, pack them into shoe boxes, and wrap them in a nice Christmas way, and to then support the children in Romania with those toys. And so we want to change that. There are a lot of resources, unused resources in countries like Austria, Germany, which can bring a lot of joy to other people or other children. And yeah, as Stefan also said, it's, to my knowledge, this is really the biggest side-by-side project within the Roundtable family, because it's a really strong cooperation between those different organizations like Roundtable, Ladies Circle, Club 41, and Agora. And all those institutions, they spread their network and their private network actually to motivate people through the whole country to collect those gifts.
Wow. I think there can't be a better example of having side-by-side events. Everyone comes together. I think the Agora, the Tangents, the Lady Circle and Table, everyone comes together and does such a wonderful project. I think, it's very important to know. I mean, we saw in the pictures, the massive size of this very project. You have like 30 trucks going across countries, like we know it happens from Germany, Denmark, Austria. Where do these gifts come from? Can I request Stefan to start and then Christoph to add to it? I think we would really like to know.
Well, Stefan, do you want to start?
Sorry, yeah. Well, the gifts, they come from all over the country. We have collection points within all of Germany. This year it was 286 different collection points. And that's not only roundtables, lady circles, Agora Club Tangents and Old Tablers that kind of opened those collecting points, but it's little stores that write us an email. Hey, I want to help. I want to be part of this. Where can I? What can I do? How can we be part of this? And how can we help? And that's one of the things where it's so great to have a network of the Roundtable family, that we can then connect them with the nearest collection point, maybe the nearest regional storage facility, or just a Roundtable or a Lady Circle in the next town, so they can include them in one collection run. And this way we can reach families, in many parts of Germany. And especially in the last weeks of the convoy, usually before we drive, there's a lot of requests if a leftover and a last package can be mailed in. And I think, Steffi, you were one of the last minute recipients this year of mailed in Christmas gifts, right?
Yes, some gifts. I carry it personally to the truck in Hanau, where we started all together in central Germany. And I get them by mail, and it was 10 or 15, and the people are very sad because the date passed to bring the gift to the school or to the facilities and something else, and they are too sad because the children are packing it and they want that some other children get it, and they've asked, could I send it to you by mail? And so we bring it to the truck by ourselves. Yes, it's like Stefan said, there are many people in Germany who are participate since 20 years, 21 years, packing every year, packing a lot of gifts and making some stuff by themselves since January, knitting or something else, and it's a hard project for so many people.
And it also grows over the years. So one example I'd like to share from my hometown, Cologne, is that 19 years ago, a tabler from my numbers table, he's at Old Tablers now, started collecting for back then it was like the second or the third Weihnachtspäckchen convoy in Germany. And he kind of got a couple of colleagues to join in. He's working at Ford, and over the years, those colleagues were like, "Oh, that's a great project. I want to do this with my department." And Ford internally in Germany, throughout various sites, there are 7 collection points now, and there's like 15 people kind of putting them in and collecting them and bringing them into Cologne. Then all the packages of the Cologne round tables are added to this logistics, and Ford drives all of the packages from Cologne and from their own collection points to our central storage facility for further distribution. And that's going on for 19 years now. Through Ford, colleagues have come to Roundtable. We have a connection at our Roundtable right now here in Cologne. We have 2 Old Tablers who are still involved with the project. We have a Ford employee who is driving a truck, a donated truck by Ford to the convoys. So these are kind of, over the years, it grows. That's the only way this project was able to, or is able to succeed with the numbers we're seeing in the last couple of years, because of this network, and that's so amazing to see. So in total from Cologne, there have been, over those 19 years, they hit the 40,000 Christmas presents this year. So that's a great story just from my hometown I like to share.
Stefan, that sounds massive. I mean, for 19 years, building this brand that has become now so huge, where everyone wants to join hands. I mean, it gets goosebumps when you hear that, a company like Ford sending trucks, sending drivers, sending so many gifts. And I mean, that would encourage so many other people to join this noble work that you guys do. So really, really admire that. With that, I'd like to ask Chris to please add into this as, how they do it in Austria.
Right. The story is really impressive. We don't have that corporate support yet. I hope to maybe inspire some companies, maybe also through that call today to join our projects. But I would say in Austria, the majority of packages still come from schools and kindergartens, just simply because we have the highest number of children there, which bring their presents. But we do have some examples like maybe some small shops or doctors' practices which support us through a couple of years now. And amount of packages from other sources are increasing, I would say. We also have a lot of private individuals bringing their packages to what we call a Sammelstellen through Austria. It's interesting to hear that we have kind of the same task as in Germany, that we then within the last days after the deadline somehow have to collect those packages because they were already done. Even if it was after the deadline, we cannot leave them behind. But we have a great support within local communities through the schools, and hopefully we'll increase it through other institutions. Yeah.
Wow.
It's totally sad that it's necessary to increase it, because there are so many children we don't get, we couldn't reach, or we couldn't bring a gift because it's so many, but it's too less for all, and it's sad that it's necessary to do that in this.
And
yeah.
and yet the growth is so difficult, because I mean we like the two tablers I just mentioned, like Michael or Christoph here from Cologne, we see that in many of our volunteers that they get so much energy out of the project. It's like, of course, it's an effort, but in total, what we hear a lot is that you get more energy out than you put in, and that makes it valuable. Yet to grow it, it kind of grows also or scales all of the efforts. We need the collection points, the distribution centers for packaging, for sorting. They need to grow as well. So the infrastructure behind that is a real issue in growing. It's working so far. We're really happy with that, and with the great support that we get. It's just something to watch out for if you have projects like that, when they grow, that you don't only look at the collection points and wanting to bring so many more presents, but that the infrastructure holds up and really works for the years to come.
Totally agree with you. It's not just about the number of packages you could collect. No. You somehow have to increase the infrastructure behind in the collection points, but also the distribution infrastructure where we collaborate with Roundtable Romania.
Yeah. And it's also the quality. We can talk about it openly. The quality of the gift should be so that you give it to your own children. I would give it to your own children, and that's a problem too. With more than 130,000 gifts, you have to watch that the quality of the gifts are equal, really equal, nearly equal. So.
Yeah. And you really have to. You really have to address peer pressure, because if a class collects gifts, then everybody feels like he needs to bring one too. And that's a real issue that we're seeing. And then our supporters are always looking out for if a package is too light or too heavy or not packaged properly, for one, so we can kind of fix those presents. But also when handing out, we always, when we're there, we have kind of a backup gift for those ones or twos in large groups throughout the convoy that kind of fall through. So that's also an issue with growing that we're also addressing in communications really heavily. That sometimes classes, not everybody needs to bring a gift. They can bring single items and pack together. They can make a group activity out of it. And that's really something going forward, that every package needs and should be as a special a Christmas gift as possible.
Wow, I think these words come truly from the heart. I mean, only if you've gone and done it by yourself is you can feel this, to the last child, the gift that goes and how it goes, and the peer pressure. I mean, this truly comes from the heart. Can I request Mr. Mark to please add in, as he's also been part of a lot of these events?
I think I just want to actually know, because whole Europe kind of is now in an energy crisis, and we are facing actually quite a lot of obstacles in our countries as well. Did you see any impact maybe this crisis actually caused now in maybe the quantity of parcels or the quality of gifts what you collected? Because I think that also nowadays, also in our own countries, either Austria or Germany or maybe Denmark, are also maybe confronted with some very, very bad times. And I just wanted to know if this has an impact actually at the Christmas parcels activities.
Yes, of course. We grow every year since the last 20 years, and every year it was more gifts, more parcels. And this year we getting 20,000 less than last year. It's one aspect, because what Stefan said, that we change the communication and say, not every kid should bring a gift in the school. So it's enough when a class put it together and do it together. And not every child, not every kid should bring a gift. And the other aspect is the aspect of energy crisis and inflation and some other fears people had. And also the aspect that many people are helping a lot this year in Germany because of the Ukraine war. We have a lot of refugees in Germany. We have a lot of refugee help, also with our helping convoy, Hilfe die ankommt on German, where we are participated with our friends from the Freunde helfen convoy. And they are helping so much this year, so they can't afford another gift in December, I guess. And that's all aspects. I'm interested in what are you having in Austria, Christoph?
We also we did have a significant increase in number of packages for the last 2 years. But if you look into details, actually the packages per school or per institution we collected this year, they heavily dropped. And I think this was also because of higher inflation, higher prices, and fears of the families in Austria themselves. But we somehow managed to really increase the number of institutions we approached this year. And so in total, we could achieve this really great number for Austria. But we also try, thanks for mentioning it, Steffi, we also try to really communicate that the quality of the packages is much more important than the overall number itself, because it's a lot of resources going into repackaging them. And we also add further presents if there's not enough in them. We try to tell the schools that they maybe should somehow package gifts together. The idea is really that you just bring packages you would give your own children, because to change them afterwards, it's really intense work. So we have to put, I think, even more energy into communication towards schools to change that. But there's one more aspect I'd like to add to Mark's input. These cost increases, they of course also impact us heavily in our project on our cost side, because packaging and distribution, logistic, all those prices heavily increased to almost double last year. Although we have a lot of sponsors, that's if this develops the same way, we might run into difficulties in the next years. So that's a further challenge we had since this year.
And something I would like to add in, because the question was not only in quantity, but we did see the drop in quantity this year. We had a little drop in quantity through Corona as well, but we didn't see a drop in quality. So of course there were the observations of the odd package by the teams that didn't meet our hopes for a Christmas gift. But the overall feedback was that the quality has actually improved a bit. So we're really happy that those people that are donating aren't pressured by peer pressure by their classes, for example, into giving a gift, but really being part of the convoy spirit. So just to answer that part of your question as well for this year.
Well, I'm sure the numbers can take a little up and down, but the spirit, the energy, the warmth is something that it's immeasurable out of this whole project. I think Steffi, would you like to just add into this?
Yes, I would like to add another aspect to your question. We need a lot of volunteers and a lot of carriers and logistic facilities, and we were this year very amazed and surprised that this was not a problem. It was not a problem to get voluntary drivers, and they give up their holidays or vacations for a week, have less holiday for their family with their family, and come with us to drive the convoy. And we were so we think, oh, it could be a very heavy this year to get some enough drivers. So we need 90 in numbers, 90 drivers for our trucks on one point. And we were very surprised, and we are so thankful that this was not a problem. And in July, August, we know we have enough drivers, and there are so many nice carriers and logistic facilities and businesses who are supporting us this year, and that was amazing. And I would like to say it here now too.
Wow, that's so nice. I mean, there's always a saying that, when you start God's work, you just start and the energy all around you gets everything together to make it move. So it's just like a wonderful example of that. My next question to Stefan, can you tell our viewers, what is the size in numbers and the geography, of this whole project?
That's a very difficult and very easy question. So the important number is always one. It's one child opening one present and one gift. That's yet for headlines, for media coverage, and also for curiosity, of course, always the total number of packages in the year and the number of trucks and numbers are really, really important. So I'm glad to supply those as well. I'm talking for Germany now. This year we had 132,606 Christmas presents on our convoy that filled 905 of those Euro pallets of boxes and fit into 33 trucks this year. We then had another 10 vehicles kind of driving the helpers and distributors for that. Over the years, it's the 22nd convoy. I hope I'm not wrong on that, but that's more on where the convoy history starts is a bit of a different story in Germany because it grew out of another project. But throughout those 22 convoys, I'm just sticking with that number now, we are adding up to a total of 1.65 million Christmas presents that we brought to Eastern Europe so far. 278 helpers, ladies and tablers and friends this year supported that by driving and distributing. So these numbers are really amazing. I'm always, there's this one view from our central logistics facility, and you just stand on top and you see those boxes, and in every box there's between, I'm gonna say, 4 and 10 Christmas presents, and it's so hard to grasp those numbers. So I'm always going back to that one moment, that one sparkling eyes. And regarding the area distribution, we added the 5th country this year to our convoy. So Christmas gift convoy Germany reaches Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, Ukraine. This year only indirectly through partners. We had 4 truckloads to Lviv, Kirovograd, and Odessa. And as a 5th country this year, we started going to Poland. Actually, Steffi was on that tour, so she can tell you a bit more about the area they reached explicitly a bit later. But that tour was also in parts created because through partners we reached a lot of kids from Ukraine that had to flee and are in Poland now. So this is the fact sheet for the Christmas gift convoy Germany. And I sent you a map actually. Maybe you can share that later, where you can see the overall general routes of Weihnachtsbäckchen convoy.
Wow, I will definitely share that. But I think the numbers 1.6 million, mind-boggling, really mind-boggling. But the goal in the heart is that one child, with the twinkling eyes watching the gift. I mean, there can't be a better comparison to that. You know, we see so many people coming together. You know, like all of you said, the planning starts from February. It's not just tablers, it's tablers, circlers, tangents, agodas, the 41ers, and so many friends and supporters, you know, from around the places that this happens and from far away. But one beautiful thing that we see as tablers is that time spent together while planning these events, you know, that also has a lot of memories and a lot of things that we cherish. Can I ask Chris on, you know, what it is about planning such events? What is the kind of things that you really go through?
Of course, as you already said, the event doesn't start in December, as most of the people see it. So it's not a Christmas event, although this is the outcome. We actually start beginning of next year with planning the Weihnachtspäckchenaktion 2023. We have to organize the whole team, put it in place so that they can start working on organizing the whole logistics, the warehouses we need, and of course all the marketing and communication material we then support or provide to our local clubs and institutions, so that they have all the information they need to contact the schools and so on. So our role is to put everything in place that the local clubs can do their job in collecting the parcels then, which starts in general after this summer holidays. But it's really encouraging, as also Steffi said, how many people want to join our team, want to support us within the project, and not only in December in the final steps, but also throughout the year. And that's something which really touches yourself, that there's so much support on a voluntary basis coming to you.
Wow, I think it must be really a lot of fun and you know, a lot of a sense of accomplishment, you know, while planning such events. I'm sure.
As well, yeah.
Yes. I'm sure, you know, in the course of these events that you guys travel, you know, to the last child, handing over that wonderful Christmas gift, there must be some experiences that, you know, really touched you. My first question to Steffi, you know, what was that one experience that you always remember when you think of the Convoy project?
Yeah. So there are so many experiences, but a little before I choose something from the last Christmas convoy, what Christoph said and what you asked, and we are doing it together with so many people. We have an organization team from 30 people so far, and there are only two days where we see each other but personally, and it was on the days we were in Hanau just before the convoy started. And for me, it's an emotional experience. It was my first time this year because of Corona, to see the whole people together and working together. For normal, we are working together by video, by Zoom, by Teams, or something else like that. And so we are all together on one spot and could work together personally. And it was so heartwarming, so many people together working for one thing. And it was so fun. And then to see how the truck started, that was a very emotional moment for me, for the work, what is behind, because it's 1 year of for this one moment, and everything should go properly, and when every truck are on their way, it's good. But there are more interesting experience and touching experience I get from my visits in Romania a couple of years ago and Poland this year. As Stefan said, we were in Poland this year for the first time because we couldn't drive to the Ukraine personally because of the war situation, of course. And but there are so many refugees, child from the Ukraine are in Poland, also to bring came to Poland. So, and just 2 weeks ago, we walked into a school in Poland, and the school is the new home of refugee children from Kharkiv. It's in the East Ukraine, and there are orphans and disabled. Most of them are blind. And so we went in with our gifts, and they told us that they like something to sing for us. And that's not unusual, because we are getting to hear Christmas songs and dances from children very often when we bring our packages, our gifts. But then a small group of teens were in this very small kitchen in the school, and were all dressed very elegant, and began to sing. And it was like, wow, because they just came together as a corps in Poland, and they are so good, very, very good. And after an emotional Ukraine song, they began to sing Nothing Else Matters. And Nothing Else Matters is one of my favorite songs. And it was so touching, because I was sitting there and with just small gifts for this poor children. They're alone, blind, in a new home and strange surrounding. It's very, very heavy for blind people to come in a new surrounding. And their home are destroyed with bombs, and the school are destroyed. And they had to flee under bombardment. And they sang my favorite song, better than Metallica. And you can hear it now, because we have a video. But some words before, that's an experience I never forget, because they came with such an enjoyment of life and made us a bigger gift than we give them. And in this silent, touching moment, it was clear to me what happened there in the Ukraine with all the children and teens in this young age, that their life is so different from now, and it changed forever on 24th of February. And the future is on hold, and they give us such a touching show. And yeah, it was very touching. It was a moment for me I will never forget. And you can hear some of the song, I guess.
So close, no matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never open myself this way. Love is lost, leave it all away. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I see and I find in you, every day for us something new. Open life for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do, never cared for what they know, but I know. So close, no matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. I seek, then I find in you.
Wow. I think that was really touching, Steffi, and I'm sure it's like one of a kind experience. Uh, can I request Chris to please share his experience while organizing or part of being the convoy?
Wow, it's a different task of such a touching video. Of course, the most touching experiences and what is the core of the whole project are the children in Romania, and there's nothing else you can put above. Maybe just a point I could like to mention aside of that, and something I sometimes use when trying to sell or promote our project within schools or institutions is to tell them that it can be very touchy also to see the children in Austria or Germany or wherever bringing their presents they somewhere received and now are giving to other people, and how encouraged and full of joy those children are also to be a small part of such a project. And one moment I realized when I'm also promoting a project in the schools of my daughters is that when I came there to collect all the presents at the end, I didn't know that they started an initiative that they not only collected toys and presents, but they also designed and created and actually did the packaging by themselves. So they painted the Christmas parcels, and so they had like above 300 Christmas presents just created by themselves and designed by themselves, which was really touching. And those children, it was during COVID times, the children brought the presents out of school to our cars and were really proud of what they contributed to the project. And that's some really touching moments as well, apart from handing them over then to the children in need in Romania or wherever.
That's really nice and really touching. Also, I think Stefan would like to share some experience.
Yeah, for me, there is one moment. It's a little thing. It kind of comes back to that one gift moment. In 2018, it was the last kindergarten that we visited in Moldova, and there was they were unpacking and there was this absolute chaos, not chaos. It was like an orchestra kind of tuning in and finding their sound, and there was packages being ripped and toys like shared and like trophies held into the air, and there was so much joy in the room. And there was this one boy almost in the center of the room, and he had gotten a fire truck with an extendable ladder, and he was going kind of wee and playing, pretending there was water, and he was putting out a fire. And my son, who was 3 at that time, so pretty much the same age, and had gotten a similar fire truck just for his birthday a couple of months before, and I've seen him play almost exactly like this, and this was just one of those. It just happened for me, but it was such a connecting moment and such a empowering and energizing moment that I got to experience there. Yeah, I just in retelling, I notice how touching that was, because it's still after 4 years now still very clear to me, that moment. And yeah, that's the goal, to enable as many moments like this as possible through the Convoy project for me.
That was so That was so touching. I mean, I think these are the moments that, really drive us year on year to make this project successful and bigger. I think it just comes from the heart. Nothing else can drive this. I think we're coming, towards the end of our wonderful discussion today. But yes, I have received some questions, and I would like to ask this one question today to Stefan. How do you see this project in the coming years? What shape do you think that this can take?
That's a tough question. I hope that it kind of it grows into itself. I think growth for such a project is because the more people that hear about it, the more want to support. So growth is definitely something I believe will happen over the coming years. Yet I really hope that also the infrastructure not only grows but kind of settles, that we can draw from the experience of the past years and not have to invent ourselves every other year from anew, but kind of grow into the project and stay one of the just set in stone projects of the Roundtable family.
Yes, I think this clears clear signs that this project is going to grow by leaps and bounds. Would anyone like to add to this? Steffi or Chris would like to add?
I mean, of course, the biggest wish would be that we wouldn't need such projects as this Christmas convoy, but unfortunately, the times we are living in are as they are. And as Stefan said, we need to grow. There's a lot of need for those presents. We need to grow, but not only in time of quantity of packages. We need to grow the whole infrastructure behind it, and hopefully we will success in our goals.
Yes, that's so great to hear. So I think we don't have any much questions, and I would like to thank all of you. That is Chris, Stefan, and Steffi, for making time, for this wonderful talk show, and above all, taking time all the year to plan such a massive event, going personally and delivering this wonderful gifts and getting those twinkling smiles and eyes in place. So, God bless all of you, everyone involved in this project, in all the three countries that lead it, Germany, Denmark, Austria, and all the countries, all the supporters, all the corporates, every person involved into this, may make it really bigger. And, we have more stories to speak about. So thanks to all of you for making to this Roundtable International University Table Talk. And we will be back to you with yet another edition to bring to you some learnings, experiences, and personality development skills for our viewers across the Roundtable family and all the other viewers on the Roundtable International page. So thank you once again, and looking forward to see you soon. Bye-bye.